you wanting to keep your students engaged during the winter season? Let's have a snowball fight in the music room. Hey whimsically musical teachers, it's Rainy and I am so very excited to get to be back in front of the camera again, sharing with you one of my favorite winter seasonal activities at this time of year, which is a difficult season because we know that our students return from winter break being super squirrely and chaotic, and we're trying to get back on track with where we were right before the break and hoping that we don't have to backtrack and reteach things over and over again. And so we need those activities that we know are going to be winners in our back pocket that will be engaging and also allow us to teach and master the concepts that we are actively working on in our classroom. Which is why I absolutely love using a snowball fight in my classroom. I use it specifically for rhythm. You could do it for melody. And in the 3 instances that I'm going to share with you today, my 3 favorite ways to use a snowball fight in your classroom, which is exactly what it sounds like. You could get fake snowballs, but I just use paper or rhythm snowballs, as we're about to talk about. It's really a hit in my classroom, and I do it every year, and my students always ask for it. So, like I said, I'm going to share 3 different examples of ways that you can use it in my classroom, and anything that I discuss will probably already have been created for you as a product that you can just purchase and use in your classroom as easily as tomorrow. So as of always, those links will be underneath this video in the description. So let's not waste any more time. Let's keep this video short and sweet, and let's talk about different ways to have a snowball fight in your music room. So the first one would be having a rhythm snowball fight, right? You can do it with using pre-written rhythms, or you can have them create their own rhythms. So if I was going to do this, I would typically pass out 1 paper per student if I was going to go the pre-written route. And so pick whatever they're on. Let's say that they're on half note. You would have a pre-written rhythm on their snowball. They get to crumple up the ball. They get to throw the snowballs at each other. I tell them no face shots. They have a fun time. I normally put on, what is it? Skater's Waltz. The one that's dun, 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 bum, 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 bum. That one. I normally play that so that they can fight stuff. And then after some time has passed, I have them pick up the snowball closest to them and they have to open it up. And then I read off one of the rhythms on the board. I'll normally have the rhythms in a row, and I'll just randomly pick one and I'll show it on the board. And whichever student has that rhythm has been eliminated, got hit by a snowball, and must join the snowbank section of the room until there is a winner, or until enough of them have gotten out. If 5 of them get out, then it's jailbreak and they all get out and they start all over again. And like I said, you can add more music to make it more adventurous. I really do like that version. There is also the one where if you want them to work on being able to create their own rhythms, then how I do this is I do the same thing, but I pass out the papers with a blank snowball. And I give them time to create a 4-beat rhythm using whatever rhythms that I have taught them so far. I usually will review note lengths before having them complete this, just to make sure that I don't get ta, or a half note and 2 quarter notes and 3 16th notes and all of that. And then once they have a rhythm, they have to come to me to check it off. I write it down on my answer key. And yes, some students might come up with the same rhythm. That's fine. That just means multiple students are going to get out at the same time. And so then they crumple up the ball. I let them once again have time to throw the snowballs at each other. Again, no face shots. And then after some time, they pick up the snowball closest to them. We repeat the same pattern. I read one off my answer key. This time it's not on the board because I don't have pre-made rhythms created for them. And then we go about that way. So that one is just a fun one. You could also do this where you crumple the snowballs and the music stops, and then you go off and you just have a student read their rhythm aloud to you and you see if they can read it correctly. If you want to do that for assessment wise instead of doing the whole elimination route, that's totally an acceptable way to do that as well. Then we also have, so that one I would say would probably be for my older students. Of course my younger students can do this, but I find that it works better with my older students. If I wanted a smaller one for the youngers, I would probably do the read a rhythm version, which is just where you have your students spread out the papers with pre-written rhythms with snowballs all over the room, turn on some music. Once again, like I said, I love a good musical moment, and have them dance, pretend they're skating around the room. You could even do paper plate skating if you wanted to be extra and have them do that at the same time. Pause the music randomly, have students stand in front of the snowball closest to them or the closest available one, and then I would call on a few different students randomly to read their rhythms on their snowball, and then I'm checking down and assessing can they read it, are they reading it correctly, and then the rest of the class will echo back their rhythm to them. So that's an easy way for assessment. Version 2 of that would be to have your students do the same thing, spread the snowballs out with the pre-writtens all over the room, but have a few blank snowballs on the ground. And then this time, only the students that have blank snowballs have to say a rhythm back to you, but they have to make up a 4-beat rhythm. So you could even do this where you do the first round first, the first couple of rounds you do with only pre-written snowball rhythms. And then once they've got the hang of it and they're used to saying those 4-beat patterns in their head, you could then put a few blank snowballs out and then, see what they're feeling, see if they can do it. Because then that's also a great assessment to know, do they know what a 4-beat rhythm sounds like and feels like? And of course my camera is going to flippity floppity die right now. I'm back, my camera died. We're going to make this quick because this battery is going to die as well. I only had one more option to talk about with you anyway, and it's just adding a song to either of these options. I would add the frosty weather one. If you don't know that, it goes like this. Frosty weather, snowy weather, when the wind blows, we all stick together. And so you can add motions to this. I think there are actually motions involved with this, but normally the way I do it is I have the students like create the motions and activities all together, and then they'll sing that as they move around the room, go to the snowballs if you're doing the younger version, and all of that. I just like always adding a song, so you could always do that, or however you want to use it. But frosty weather is definitely a great option that you can add in if you want to add a singing component to this. And honestly, that's it. Those are the ways that I use snowball rhythm games in my classroom. There are other ways that you could do this. You could do like a whole snowball fight game where like you have two rhythms on the board and they have to figure out which rhythm that you're saying and then throw that snowball into the correct bucket if you wanted to do competition style. There are many different ways that you could utilize snowball rhythms in your classroom, but ultimately these are the three that I have found most effective for my classroom, and I hope that these have been helpful to you. So if you want to comment down below, put some type of snow emoji if you got to the end of this, and if you are interested, I have all of these pre-written snowball rhythm fight game sets for all the different rhythm sets available for you underneath this video. So make sure to go check that. So make sure to go click on one of those links. I also have other winter seasonal resources that might be helpful for you right now. Click underneath here as well. And if you want to connect with me and then just make sure that you like and subscribe to this video. It really helps make my channel grow, and you can connect with me on all social media platforms underneath here under the name Whimsically Musical Teacher, anywhere that you have social media, basically. And with that, my friends, I will see you very soon in another video. Bye!